Vegas, where anything can happen.
This is Vegas. You want to go up there and get the checkered flag in this city.
Will Kyle Busch repeat and take the checkered flag?
Kyle Busch in a familiar place, victory lane.
Or can one of the young guns knock the hometown hero off his throne?
This has been a roller coaster ride here in Las Vegas.
There's no doubt about it. This young kid's got speed.
So much young talent.
The only thing that's certain at this track is the racing is sure to be wild.
We're in Las Vegas.
Every now and then you got to gamble.
It's NASCAR Xfinity Series racing from Las Vegas, and it starts right now on Raceday.
Hey, hey, the city of Las Vegas, home to more than 200,000 slot machines and 125,000 hotel rooms. But there's just one Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a mile-and-a-half track with as much character as some of the shows on the Vegas Strip. It's fast, it's bumpy, it's Vegas, baby. Welcome inside the Hollywood Hotel, and today it's the Hollywood Hotel and Casino. Not going to promise that's my last corny Vegas quote of the day, but I'm Shannon Spake alongside Larry McReynolds and Michael Waltrip. We call this three-race stretch NASCAR Goes West, but Larry, you say after these next three races, teams are going to know where they are for the season.
Yeah, it's the first race of the three races out on the West Coast, and then add in Daytona and Atlanta. Not only are these 5 consecutive races a tough stretch, they're 5 completely different racetracks. And I always believe, whether it's the Cup Series or whether it's Xfinity Series, you get through this stretch of races, we have a pretty good measuring stick who's in trouble and who's looking pretty good.
A year ago, Toyota made a statement, especially here at Vegas, sweeping the top 3 positions. And Larry McReynolds, they had a couple of tenths in the bank over the whole field. It's different this year. The competition has closed up. Those Penske Fords have the same amount of speed as Kyle Busch does in his Toyota. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see at Vegas that is truly a test of speed. There's a lot of grip. Who's got the most of it?
And we could see that lap 1 when this green flag gets underway here at Las Vegas. So it's time now to set our NASCAR headlines. Last Saturday, Kyle Busch's winning car in Atlanta failed post-race inspection for being too low. The penalties include the loss of a playoff and owner points, and crew chief Scott Graves was fined $10,000 and is suspended for today's race. Matt Lucas is going to go ahead and take his place on top of that pit box. NASCAR is doubling down in Las Vegas. The owners of this track, SMI, are transferring one of their 2 New Hampshire Cup races right here to Vegas. So we're going to have 2 triple-header weekends, Cup, Xfinity, and Truck in 2018. It's going to be exciting. In qualifying held earlier today, Kyle Busch won the pole. He has won his last 3 Xfinity starts from the top starting position. He went over 185 miles per hour, and as Michael just set it up, he's going to share that front row with Brad Keselowski. So we know that gambling and Vegas go hand in hand, right, Michael?
That's right.
Yeah, but you don't want to gamble on pit road. And drivers, right? No gambling on pit road.
No.
Drivers found out the hard way last weekend in Atlanta. So we sent our ace in the hole, Kenny Wallace, to take a deeper look inside NASCAR's race control.
We are in race control, where NASCAR officials will monitor today's race. We are going to focus in on pit road speed. Last week in Atlanta, there were 10 pit road speeding penalties, and of course, the most famous one of Kevin Harvick. Let's take a look at how all these drivers got busted on pit road. The main thing that we want to point out is that pit road speed is completely automated. There are no humans involved. This is a chart of pit road. Every red line signifies an antenna that is buried under the ground that communicates with the transponder that is on the race car. If you are caught speeding in any of these sections, we go over to this monitor and a red block will be displayed. NASCAR will announce it over the radio, and that team will have to serve their penalty. So now you know, pit road speed is completely automated, and we can keep pit roads safe and the racing on the racetrack.
Kenny being so official. So take a look at that. That's the practice speed. So teams were able to come into the garage this weekend and they were able to look at their pit road speeds. It's something that NASCAR hasn't done in a very long time, but wanted to try to help them out because of all the speeding penalties that we saw last week in Atlanta. Because like Atlanta, they have almost doubled their segments on pit road here this weekend. So Michael, I mean, they can look at their timing. They know that the segments are there, but it's still a challenge for these drivers to adapt. Why?
Competition. They're trying to get everything they can get. And when the segments are shorter, you have a bigger chance of not correcting your speed. The drivers put their tach right on the red number that they want. But if they bump it up just a little bit with a short segment, they can't recover from that. You've got to get all you can get on every part of the race. Just think about Harvick last week. He knew he was going to spin his tires leaving the pit. He said, I got to be right on my speed. Overdid it.
Yeah, I mean, Las Vegas, for whatever reason, it's always been notorious for pit road speeding penalties. The last 8 Xfinity Series races here, 72 speeding penalties total. And now they've added segments. They went from 8 to 14. But to Michael's point, I talked to Jimmy Johnson. I mean, look right there in 2014, 19 penalties. But I spoke with Jimmy Johnson to Michael's point, and he said, you're right. Absolutely. The segments are so short, if I get into my red lights, which tells me I'm too fast, I almost don't even have time to recover. But these teams, like with everything they do, they're on that razor blade trying to get all they can, but not stepping across the line.
And if a 7-time champion has a hard time recovering, you know that the young guys with not a lot of experience are certainly going to have a hard time.
Puts another notch on the belt. Kyle Busch wins the Kansas Lottery 300.
Kyle Busch sees the checkered flag and wins the Ticket Galaxy 200 at Phoenix International Raceway. Back to back. Kyle Busch in a familiar place. Victory Lane.
He wins for the 3rd straight time in the Xfinity Series.
7 times Kyle Busch has been close to winning 4 consecutive, and he has yet to break through and get it done. But he did break through here last year at Las Vegas, his hometown track, and he was the version of a royal flush, unbeatable. He led all but 1 lap, and the only other driver to lead a lap is standing by with our Chris Neville.
Bubba Wallace led that lap last year. It wasn't a lap you wanted to lead, but you led a lap last year. Looking back at Atlanta last weekend, you guys didn't have the car you wanted early, but you guys stuck with it. You dug deep, and you came home with the 6th. What does that do for the confidence of you and the team leading into this weekend?
It really brings a lot of confidence in. And we have a really good Leidos Mustang in practice. We were one of the top cars, so it's pretty encouraging to come here and have some speed. We were pretty fast last year, too. Just didn't go our way, but I tell you, we can't buy any luck. We have a really good car. Drove fine yesterday. Now I'm battling flu-like symptoms. So it'd be interesting to see how it shakes out for us. But I think getting in the car makes us feel better. But a really good race for us last weekend. We need it. We need to keep building off that. Get us to top 5 here. I think we got a really good car. Be capable of winning.
Yeah, it's a hot day, so it's going to be a big challenge out here. Good luck.
Thanks so much, Chris. You know, Larry, I heard encouraged from Bubba Wallace, and you're encouraged by what you've seen from him as well.
Well, a great run at Atlanta last week. Came home finishing 6th, and he's absolutely right. I was a little surprised when they only qualified 16th early this morning because of the speed they showed yesterday. But I will say this, and nobody knows this more than Bubba Wallace. This is his 3rd full-time season in the Xfinity Series. I think he can win, but I think he better win a race this year.
Time to do it. You know, he's been in it for a while, 3 years, so he's used to racing around the Cup guys, and he's going to have to do that again today, as there are 9 double-duty drivers in this field today, including Kyle Busch, who won last year. And check this out, Joey Logano has never raced in Xfinity here at Vegas. I found that so hard to believe. You think he's nervous?
I think he's probably got this down pat pretty well.
I think that he's pretty good. You know, Michael, last year and the year before, years past, drivers really would say that not a lot transferred from Xfinity to Cup, but that is different this season. Why?
More than ever, because the aerodynamic packages between the Xfinity car and the Monster Energy cars is so similar. So the guys can go out there, feel what the car's going to do when they enter the corner. Are they going to get loose with that lesser rear spoiler on the back? And plus, the tires are different this year for this race, but the same tires for both Saturday and Sunday. So they're going to ride on the same tires, figure out air pressure. They're going to see what the aero does. They're going to race on the track. They're going to race tomorrow. Just think about Kyle Larson last week at Atlanta. Heard a spotter come in his radio and say, learn that bottom, run down there where Harvick is. That's how we're going to win this race tomorrow. So they're going to be going to school today trying to win a race so they can win one again tomorrow.
Even same weather conditions, realistically.
Yeah, so a lot can be learned from one day to the next. Now, one driver who won't be on the track today but will be just as busy is Jamie McMurray. He's joining the guys in the booth, and Adam Alexander is with him now.
Shannon, looking forward to having Jamie McMurray in the booth with us. First time with Fox. You ready?
Yeah, I'm excited to be a part of it.
All right, and I'm thinking about this racetrack and all the challenges it possesses for these drivers. You've been on track a lot this weekend. What is the biggest issue?
Well, the biggest thing here is the bumps in turn one. We talk about it every year. It seems like the bumps get bigger every year. So bumps turn one would be the big subject today, I think.
Not sure if you've been doing your homework on Xfinity, but the Gibbs cars are strong on the 1.5 miles. They've won 9 of the last 12. 6 of those to Kyle Busch, including here a year ago when he led 199 of 200 laps. They're strong.
Yeah, the Gibbs cars are always fast when you watch one of these races, one of the Xfinity races. But I'm going to go with another Kyle today because I have a little inside info.
Oh,
and I'm saying that Kyle Larson's going to have something for him today.
All right, we got to get rid of this Credit One fire suit. You do that and put on a tie for us?
Let's go do it.
All right, let's get out.
Adam better get in that suit as well. Get up there to that booth. Michael, we heard Jamie talk about the bumps. I mean, listen, every time we come here, we hear that word bump. But the drivers make it look so easy.
Well,
Is it?
It doesn't look easy to me watching on TV. When they fly down into the corner at over 190 miles an hour, and it's like they go off-road for a bit. The bumps entering turn one, and then particularly in the center of one, look at that car bounce around. It's a real challenge, especially with the lower aerodynamic package they're faced with today.
All right, crew chief, stages. We will have those today, and the breakdown is 45, 45, 110. How'd they come up with this breakdown?
I think NASCAR's done a really nice job with all 3 series in getting the right length of these stages, and it was a challenge. They wanted to make sure, especially stage 1 and stage 2 in an Xfinity series, was not a fuel mileage run. Now, we know in that final stage, which is actually a little bit longer than the Monster Energy Cup Series final stage tomorrow, yeah, it could become a fuel mileage, but I think all in all, for all 3 series, they've done a nice job of the breakdown of the stages.
And the pit window is about 55, right?
Right there, so right in half on that 3rd stage.
Speed or strength? Which would you rather have? Well, we'll see which trait dominates as NASCAR goes up against the UFC's Ultimate Fighters. Who's at the advantage? It's up next. Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 4 previous winners in the field here today, including that guy who just walked out onto stage, Brad Keselowski. And right behind him, starting from the pole, that's Kyle Busch. He's also a former winner. Taking a walk down pit road. Live mic time, guys. Let's do it. Let's see who else we can find back there behind the stage. Brendan gone. Bubba Wallace. Brendan's making his 500th start today, huh?
Yeah,
it's in all of NASCAR series, yeah.
That's pretty awesome for Brendan.
Awesome.
He had trouble getting through inspection today and was late to go to qualifying. Felt like that hurt his effort, but thinks he's got a really fast car for the race today. And anytime Brendan starts in the back, he's always fun to watch because he goes to that high side.
Bubba, we talked to him earlier. There you see Elliott Sadler.
Our points leader. Our points leader qualified 14th. Didn't get the qualifying run, but he started 22nd last week at Atlanta and finished 5th.
Yeah, none of the Junior Motorsports cars qualified up front, so it'll be interesting to see if they've got good speed in the long haul.
He's loving those stages, isn't he?
He took advantage of them in Daytona, right?
He sure did. Who else we got back there? We got Ty Dillon alongside his brother, Austin. We had Ty in the studio this week on Race Hub. And he was pretty busy this week as well out here in Las Vegas.
That 3-car Ty Dillon looks a lot like the Wrangler jeans machine Dale Earnhardt used to drive. It's got that purple and yellow.
Yeah, and Ty's another one needs to find victory lane. He's only found it one time in the Xfinity Series. It was a big one. It was Indy, but it was a few years ago.
Okay, so speaking of Ty, in NASCAR, you know, we use phrases like track bar adjustment and throttle linkage. UFC fighters say things like pummel and guillotine choke. Sounds fun, right? Well, Ty Dillon and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. apparently thought so, because when someone brought up the idea of training with UFC's Cowboy Cerrone and Cain Velasquez, they said, why not? Good luck, guys.
So we're here at the UFC Training Center.
Mama said it's all right.
Today we're going to be hanging out and training with Donald Cerrone and Cain Velasquez.
Mama,
you know, seeing what it's like to be an Ultimate Fighter. Watch this place on TV a lot, so it's cool to be here. I gained so much respect for just their training. I do train for racing, but it's not at this intensity and this level.
Having them experience punching and kicking is fun, so now they get to go home and work it on the bag and see just how out of shape they are.
Just the level of respect between both sports is really cool, and I'm looking forward to watching these guys fight again.
They sweat about as much as we do in a 2-hour workout, and that car, it's like being in a sauna for 4 hours.
I think the biggest similarity between the two sports is learning how to relax and kind of let it come to you.
How do we both prepare for our moment?
I think it's the same thing for fighting too. If you're too tensed up, you're gonna get worn out quick, and you're gonna get knocked out quick. We learned some tricks today. Hopefully we don't have to use them.
I feel confident if there's a wreck and a fight, breaks out, that they will be okay.
Man, this was an awesome experience, working with the best fighters there are and just getting a little bit of taste of their world.
Here's hoping they don't have to use those moves in the Xfinity Series. And if that wasn't enough for you UFC fans, you're in luck. Tonight on FS1, live from Brazil, UFC Big Fight. Right here on FS1. And here's our big fight. It's a little tale of the tape. It's our champion, Michael Waltrip, next to Conor McGregor. So nicknames, I like to say the obnoxiously awesome. I thought that was kind of mean. And biggest rival, Pit Road Speed, compared to Nate Diaz. But I like the quotes, Michael. Because what's your quote?
I live above a pizza parlor. Of course, back in North Carolina.
Nobody does grid walking better than Michael Waltrip.
And I'm not obnoxious.
No, I don't think so.
But you're fun.
So I reached out to Cowboy and I got a few moves that they use in the UFC, and I want to see if you guys can figure out what this is. The first one is a rear naked choke. Larry, can you figure out what this is? Here you go.
I really don't have a good feeling about answering that one.
Michael, we didn't ask you for a reason, but that is what that looks like right there. That's a rear naked choke. The second one is a Peruvian necktie. Do you know what that is?
That's a Peruvian necktie.
No,
right?
It sounds like you would have your feet around some guy's head.
Awesome. Good job.
That is awesome. Nice. Very nice.
There you go. Hey, Michael, we're going to let you tap out.
Love it.
Go ahead,
take
tap
your
out.
Peruvian necktie with you.
Get upstairs. So last week it was Kenny in a balloon. This week it's Kenny on the strip. See what happens when Kenny Wallace hits the town with some of the young and up-and-comers in the Xfinity Series. Here it is, Las Vegas. So if you're stuck in one of those casinos right now, this is what you're missing. It is a beautiful day. About 80 degrees out here, and we're getting ready for some Xfinity racing right there, mile-and-a-half track. Beautiful. Now, they say when in Vegas, you can go ahead and have a good time. Just don't talk about it. Well, Kenny Wallace has never been one to follow the rules, and he hit the Vegas Strip with some of the young guns of the series to see what kind of fun they could have.
Whoa! Vegas! So much fun! The nightlife, the casinos. Well, unless you're way under 21 and you're these guys. Hey, there's no need to worry though. You are with the Herminator tonight. We are still gonna have fun. Come with me. This is where all the fun happens, right here. All right, take it up. Young guns. Slow and steady. So this is just like going into turn one at the racetrack. You ready?
All right, let's do it.
Ready. Let's go. Hans device is on.
Yep.
We're ready. That was way more fun than Bristol.
Oh man, I love this game. I'm going for that tie-dye, guys.
I'm going for the back corner for sure.
Yeah. I'm going for the Kenny. Yeah, I'm going for you. What are you doing there, Kenny?
That is my new avatar right there.
Sometimes we are supposed to react to everything. I don't know how to react to it. I just don't know how.
I think Kenny had more fun. Okay, Kyle Busch dominated this race, 199 laps, but I'm going to have you pick someone besides Kyle to win this race.
I'm going to stay in
Suarez. You can't pick Suarez.
Okay, I'm going to go with bad Brad Keselowski since you threw me that curveball.
Brad Keselowski, pretty good pick. He's starting on that front row with Kyle Busch.
Got some strut right now. On the pole for the Cup race, won last week.
Cards are dealt. Who has the best hand? Let's get this thing started. Go trackside for opening ceremonies.